Hey everybody, I'm Greg.
And I'm Katie. Welcome to the Meeple Society. Today we are on episode 93, another backup episode.
The first of two.
The first of two.
This is the backups from Gen Con and just picking up and
the retreat.
And the retreat.
Yeah.
On the way down and on the way back up.
So this has been building for about a month and a half now. Well, since Gen Con. So yeah, month and a half
the
now.
End of July, I mean.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, almost 2 months now. Jeez. Anyway, before we get started, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon if you want notification of future content.
Or if you click the link below, you can see where all of our social media.
Yeah. All right.
So,
get started.
You're probably wondering why this is already sitting out there.
Because last week it was sitting on the floor.
The last one, I didn't have any more room up here. So I set it on the floor. I figured, okay, that'd be a good one. I can just grab it and pick it up because it has a suitcase hammer. Handle. But this is Star Wars Destiny. This is a go back to the...
Well, it's a go back to the
It's a pre-go back of a...
Yeah, it's a continuation of the Star Wars episode because we discovered it after we broke down and everything was put away.
It's a go back of the Forgotten Realm. I don't know. There you go.
Okay. Anyway, Star Wars Destiny. We picked...
Of course, this is not the box it comes in.
No, this is not the box that comes in. I no longer have the box that comes in.
No.
We've picked up a lot of expansion and I don't want to say promo packs, individual packs that come with a dice and some cards in this. And there is no good way to organize this game. There just isn't. So I came up with this solution and this seems to work for us. So anyway, this is typically just a 2-player game, although we have quite a few main characters now. I think we have 4 main characters. We got Luke and Boba Fett, and we've got, why am I drawing a blank on her name?
Who?
Ray. Ray and Ben.
Yes.
Okay. So the way I've got this organized, first of all, we'll start there, is like so. I've got all my hero stuff over here and all my villain stuff over here, and then rule books and tokens and neutral dice and stuff. So, all right, so the way this one plays, each player takes the deck and all the dice for the character they're going to play. One is on the side of the Rebels, the other is on the side of the Empire, or the First Order, which, depending on which way you're going. You shuffle up your deck and you get, well, first of all, you put out your main character. So in this case, it would be Luke Skywalker.
And Han.
Is Han your secondary?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought he was just in your deck.
No, he's the secondary.
Okay. He's the secondary, okay. Obviously, when you start out, this is also dice-based. You take the dice associated with the cards you have laid out. And if there are dice involved with a specific card, because not all cards have them, there's going to be this grid on the side of the card telling you what all the different dice faces are. So you would pull out those dice. So there's Han Solo's dice, there's Luke's dice. At the start of each game, or at the start of each round, you are drawing so many cards, and each card has a cost to put out and has an ability. Some can just be simply laid out, others are attached to specific characters. So for instance, maybe I pulled these and these are actually all pretty cheap. There are no extra characters here. None of these cards have dice involved with them. In case you can see that, because I don't have any of those grids. All of these give me some sort of an action. On your turn, you are spending the resources that are up here in the corner, and there are resource tokens in here that you gain throughout the game. But you're spending the resources up in the corner to do a specific card action. You play that card, you discard it, or you leave it in your tableau if it's one that gets left out. One of the things you can do on your turn is take all dice associated with a specific character. So maybe I had this hunting rifle and I had attached it to Han Solo, and I would put that out. It looks like is it that one? No, it's this. It's got to be this guy.
Yep.
Okay. If I had this hunting rifle attached to Han Solo, because it's a weapon, so I would attach it, then I could take all of Han's dice and roll them. And then I put them back in front of Han Solo. And those dice give me various actions. And a different action, I could take loose dice and put those out. On a future action, you can take all of one symbol on your dice. Like in this case, both of these rolled the blasters. So I could take all 4 of my blasters and do damage to my opponent. There are all sorts of different symbols in here. There are some that give you shields. There's some that give you more resources. There are blasters. There are, oh my God, there's always a negative side. Yep, there's always a blank side. But that's all it is. It's a dice battling game. You're using cards to obtain the dice. The dice are physically doing the damage. But we've got all sorts of, like I said, I've got villain upgrades. So I've got all these different cards that we've picked up through, we ended up buying them through Noble Knights or something like that, didn't we?
I don't
remember where we got them. But all sorts of extras. So as we start playing this more and more, we can start customizing our decks. Right now, they're just the base decks. We have not gotten to the point where we can start customizing everything. But we'll get there. I do enjoy it. I think I lost pretty quickly this last round. I don't remember.
Did you?
I don't remember. I know I lost. I don't remember, though. But it's a good card game. I do like it. I like the variability of the dice. I like what the cards do. One of the ways to lose is to run out of cards. So you really have to manage the size of your deck.
Yeah, you got to watch out how many cards you're putting out because you don't have to put a card out every
something
round.
You do not. But you can also discard cards. If they're not going to do you any good, you can discard before you draw back up. But that means you're burning through your deck faster. And again, one of the ways to lose is to run out of cards. So you want to kind of watch that. So anyway, that is Star Wars Destiny in my creative storage solution. It does sit in the travel collection right now, mostly just because of space. It takes up a lot of room like this, so it sits in the travel collection with the other card cases like this. But yeah, we're going to hold on to it. I'm just going to stick it right back down here on the floor so I trip over it when I get up.
So now we can actually do our go-backs.
Yes. Yes.
So like I said, these are from Gen Con up to the present time.
Yes. Yes.
So we'll start with a small, well, you always complain that I start with small ones, but all the big ones are on the bottom.
They always are.
We'll start with this one here. It's a little bit bigger.
Okay.
You finally got to get, well, we both played though, but
we did.
You finally got to play Boop.
We finally purchased Boop.
Yes.
I don't remember where we picked this up, but that's okay.
I think this was at the Solitaire Garage sale.
Yes, this was at the yard sale. You're right. Okay, so Boop comes with this cute little quilt. It's a bed quilt. The idea with Boop is that you are placing kittens onto the quilt on the bed, and you play this basically. I guess you could just play it on the middle of the table.
This box, because it has the skirt around it.
Oh, it does. That's all right. I'm not going to right now, just simply because all the cats are in the box. So the idea with this is you are placing kittens out and trying to boop them into a certain line so that you can take those kittens and make them one cat. And you and your opponent are both doing the same thing. So if I were to put a kitten here and my opponent comes in and puts a kitten here, it boops the kitten out of the way. Now, kittens can't boop cats though, but cats boop kittens.
Do you got that?
Right? And the general idea is you want to get 3 of your kittens in a row so that you can take those kittens off and make them a cat. Ultimately, you want to get 3 cats onto your bedspread.
Your what?
The bedspread. This is supposed
you
to
said
be
the boat spread. I'm like going.
The bedspread, the bed. You're trying to get 3 kitty cats onto your bed, and that wins you the game. Simple as that. And I think they actually have to be in a line, if I remember correctly.
So you can have them like that, you can have them like that, you can have them like this,
yep,
but you can't have them like that.
Nope, they have to be in a line. That is basically the entirety of the game. It is totally abstracted, but the kittens and the cats are so cute. And they have a lot of different mini expansions now where you can actually get specific color cats. And there's 3 different versions of the game. There's a Halloween one, Boop, and there's a Christmas one. I don't remember the name of the Christmas
Boop the Halls or something
Boop the Halls. I think that's what it is, yes. It's funny that you remembered that and I did not. Those each come with different colors. So there's a way to get all the different colors of your kitty cats. So I've got an orange set now. Now I need a black one, but that means I have to buy Boop the Hall or Boop.
Didn't they have at Gen Con, they had the separate ones?
They did, but I asked about a pure black one. They said that one's in the Halloween edition. So you have to buy the Halloween edition to get a pure black one.
Well, I guess you're not getting a black one.
Guess I'm not. I would like to get a pure black one. But anyway.
If you'd like to donate a black cat, no, don't do that. Suddenly we'll have a black cat show up on our porch.
Right? Okay, anyway, I've rambled on long enough about my kitty cat game.
Yes.
That is Boop. A very thinky game for I can't read today.
A very thinky game for two clever cats.
Yes, that's what I was trying to
It's not really
spit
hard.
out. I know. For some reason, I couldn't spit it out. Anyway, we're holding on to it. All right.
Next, we have Citizen of the Spark. This came out at Gen Con this year.
It did. We picked it up at Gen Con. We went by the Thunderworks Games booth because you wanted your hot sauce.
Hot sauce.
And we found this game. And in order to get the hot sauce for free, you had to buy like $25 worth of something.
Something like
I don't
that.
remember, whatever it
25,
was. So
30, something like that.
one game did the trick. So we bought this game and got his hot sauce for him. All right,
It's
so
good stuff.
if you say so. So this game comes with a number of different layouts, including solo, and or a number of different card sets.
Card sets, yes.
A number of different card sets. And it gives you all of these back here. So you can kind of customize your game as to what atmosphere you want, what feel you want for your game. Do you want a short game? Do you want something with low interaction? Do you want something with high interaction? Do you want something strategic or something tactical or however? And it will tell you which sets of cards to pull out. It also tells you what to do for your first game, so you kind of get a wide variety. If you want to just totally randomize it, it does have just a complete deck of randomizer cards. So you can just randomize 10 cards and call it a day. So you pull out all of the decks that you're going to use. Each deck comes with, I think it was 10 cards. Yeah, 10 cards in a deck. And you typically go with 10 different factions or 10 different ones. So you shuffle them all up together, everybody gets a couple of cards. And those are what you start with in your city. This is, I don't want to call it a city builder. It's not a city builder. I'm not even sure I'd call it a tableau builder. Ultimately, you've got 10 different citizens that you are placing into your city. And each citizen has a different power. Each power is activated at a different strength, depending on whose turn it is. So, for instance, maybe I had the merchant. Now, mind you, there's only 10 different citizens, and you're drawing cards every round. So, and when you pick up cards, all the cards are laid out, and I'm only going to use the one because I don't have to sort these back out, but the cards are all laid out in rows. And you are grabbing one whole row. Now, these would typically be much more random than all merchants, but you're grabbing one whole row of cards. Whatever row you don't grab is getting sparks. Sparks are essentially victory points at the end of the game. So any row that's not taken are getting sparks, which just make them more enticing to the next player. Especially when there's something bad in that row that nobody wants, and they build up to about 10 spark on there before somebody finally decides that
It paid
those
for
10
itself now.
spark are covering the cost of that card that I don't want. So you're picking up all of the cards in one row. You're putting them into your city by groups. So I would have 3 merchants. Now, anything more than 3 doesn't benefit me.
No.
3 is the most that will have benefit. You can have more than 3, you just don't get benefit from them. So at the bottom of each card, it gives you the power of the card and the strength based on how many of them are in your city. It also gives you an icon up here in the corner that other powers from other cards are based on. So this particular one tells me to gain spark into my city based on how many of these sets of bricks I have. Well, if I had 3 of these, number one, I get to do it at the strength of 3. So I get 3 points per brick that I have in my city. Well, here's 3 brick right here. Never mind anybody else I might have in my city. That's 9 points. In order to gain this 9 points, I would have to play my merchant. I would play my merchant. It goes into the discard pile. I get my 9 points for the next round. Now I only have 2. But here's the kicker. If I play my merchant, everybody else at the table gets to play theirs as well, if they have one and if they want to. They may only have 1 merchant and it may only be worth a couple points to them, so they're going to hold on to it and save it. But at the end of the game, they're worth nothing if you don't use them now.
No.
There are a couple end game ones that are beneficial to keep till the end of the game, that you kind of have to because they don't do you any good during the game. There are some in here that are negative if you still have them at the end of the game, so you want to get rid of them.
And there's ones that'll get rid of cards.
And there are ones that will help you get rid of those cards, yes. I've really enjoyed this. We've played it a few times now, and I have very much enjoyed every play of it. There's a lot of thought as to when do you continue to build so you can get the benefit of having 3 of each character in the city, and when do you say, that deck is getting awful low, because the game ends when the deck is gone. You don't want to risk running out of time and having a city full of cards that you don't get any points for. So yeah, I have very much enjoyed this one.
Yeah.
But anyway, that is Citizens of the Spark, and we are going to hold on to it.
Next, we got this one at the Dice Tower Retreat. This was your pickup.
This was my first pickup, yes. That back is of no help whatsoever. I just noticed that.
No, it is not. It's just artwork.
Just artwork, which is pretty, but it doesn't tell you much about the game. All right, so we talked about Canopy a while back. As a matter of fact, I think it was in a Go Back episode too, because I know we've only picked it up about a year ago. And when I first grabbed this, it didn't click that that's what this was. It was literally, no, it did not. It was literally wrapped in a brown paper bag. And all it said was Canopy Evergreen Deluxe Edition on it, on the brown paper bag. That was it. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Sounds good. It's a deluxe edition. It's got to be good, right? So we unwrapped it and played it the next day at the retreat with Eric, one of the guys that we play with there all the time. And that's when it clicked. Actually, no, it clicked when I sat back down and Jeff goes, I never really liked the card game of Canopy, so I figured it's probably the same thing, right? Oh, yeah, probably. Good thing I like the card game. You know?
But it's really, I mean, it's there, but
the card play is identical to the game of Canopy. This just adds that extra board level to it. All right, so there are decks of cards out. Those are all placed on these around the table. So you now play 5-player, and I don't know how much Canopy played. You also have animals that you can pick up to put into a tableau in front of you. Your tableau is built up of various cards you are picking up throughout the game. Everybody also has their board. And their board is dual layered here because there's tiles that go into here, and you've also keep track of all your food and your scores are on here too. So the idea with this, you are playing cards in order to build up your forest. All right, so each player has a set of tiles, and these tiles get laid out on your board. I don't want to pull them all out, I just want to pull a couple out, but come on, there we go. So the tiles are all laid out on your board like so, and you are building trees around them in order to activate them. Now, as the game goes on, I'm going to dig out the cards and explain how the card play works, but as the game goes on, you are using card play in order to build up your trees, and you first have to build a base, and then you have to build, are they in here?
the trunk.
You have to, yep, they're in here. So this is the trunk system, or no, these are the roots. And then you have to build the middle sections, and you can build as many middle sections as you want. You can make the tree as tall as you want. You're actually trying to get the tallest tree each
like
round because it's
Canopy.
extra points. And then eventually, that is not the right one, eventually you're going to put the topper on it. And as soon as you put the topper on it, now mind you, as soon as you build the root system, you're placing it somewhere on your board. But as soon as you get the topper on it and you surround one of these tiles now become a permanent resource for you. So they match various parts of the card play and can give you extra icons you need in order to get points during the card play part of it. So you're building up the trees on all of these little tree symbols, trying to surround all of the different tiles so that you can get those bonuses. So there are also, like I said, there are also animal cards, and it comes with all these different little icons to show the animals, and some of the animals have one-time powers you can use. Actually, there's 3 cards to each animal. You're trying to collect the families of them, and each set has a power that can be used one time per round. But in the original game of Canopy, you had 3 cards, 3 decks out in the middle of the table. That was it. This one shakes it up just a little bit, whereas you have the number of decks equal to the number of players plus 1. So in a 2-player game, we're going to have 3 decks out. In a 4-player game, you're going to have 5. Each player has their own deck set between you and 1 player to your side. And then there's a deck in the middle. Kind of like Seven Wonders Architects. You have access to exactly 3 piles. The pile to your left, the pile to your right, and the pile in the center. And that's it. I can't access the pile between the opponents across the table from me because that's only for them to access. The game starts with 1 card on each one, I think it was, or maybe it was 1 card and then 2 in the middle. I don't remember. But each turn, you're looking at the card on your left. If you want it, great. You take it, you replace it from the main deck. If you don't want it, I look at it, I decide I don't want it, I add another card to that pile, so again, it's more enticing to the next player, and I move on to the card center one in the middle. I don't want that one either. I add a card, I move on. And I keep doing that until I either take one of them, or I could say no to all 3 and just pull one randomly off the top of the deck, and that's what I'm stuck with. Eventually, these piles can get pretty enticing. Somebody's going to eventually pick these cards up.
Oh, yeah.
And at that point, all of these cards go into your tableau. The cards come in a couple of different forms. You've got rain and rain and sun. These counterbalance each other. You've got various kinds of plants. Each of these have their scoring information right there on the bottom. So they tell you what they do. Like the cattail moss, if for every 2 of them you have, you get 5 points. So you want to collect sets of 2. 1 doesn't do you any good. The sun and rain, whoever has the most gets extra points. But for every set you have, it's worth a point. So this would be 3 points for me automatically if I took this. There are pine cones that there is an extra set of cards set off at the very beginning of the game. And the pine cones allow you to look through that deck at the end of the game.
At the end of the round.
At the end of the round, I'm sorry, at the end of the round. And then you have tree cards. Again, this is part of
Canopy.
Building your forest. Canopy cards, yes. So you have your root system where you can either put roots down or you can put your trunk on. So if I play this card, I put my trunk on, or my roots down, and I throw it away. If I had another one, I could immediately either put out another root system, or I could add to the trunk. And eventually I can play the Canopy card. And the Canopy card, now you don't have to play these.
No.
You can just discard them if maybe I don't have any roots out and this is what I got. I can't play it then. But any trees that aren't full don't score.
Nope.
So it behooves you to at least get something down and start getting access to the different tiles that you've laid out on your board. And the tiles are all random. They're different for everybody because everybody just randomly puts them out at the start of the game. Everybody has the same set, but they're just all in different positions. So yeah, we need to play this one some more. I enjoy this one. I think because we now have this one, we're probably going to get rid of the base game of Canopy though. I don't see any reason to hold on to both, especially when the card play is identical. All right, but that is, and this box got shifted, so goes this way. Are you happy now?
I didn't say a word. You're the one that's doing it, so.
Anyway, that is Canopy Evergreen. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the differences, the addition of the board and the tiles and the animals and all of that to it. So I thought it was very good. But anyway, yeah, we're going to hold on to it.
Next we have Cover Your Assets.
We picked this one up at the yard sale, I believe.
Yes.
We played it at Gen Con. We took it with us, just threw it in the backpack and played it before the hall opened one day. We sat down with Justin and with Matt, with Root Shirt Guy. And Root Shirt Guy schooled us in this. I mean, like double our score. Double our score. You start off with so many cards in your hand and you're drawing up more cards as the game goes on. At the start of the game, you are allowed to protect one set of cards out of your hand. A set is considered any two of one item. Now, items range from $5,000 up to about, what is it, 20,000, or maybe it's more.
I think it's even more than that.
On your turn, you are taking one set of cards out of your hand and putting them down. These are protected. Whatever's on the bottom of your stack is protected for the whole game. Great, I have $10,000. That's it. Not a high start, but that's okay. And then I would draw back up. On your turn, you can either protect somebody's or you can challenge somebody. If Greg got, well, he couldn't do it with my pianos because that's protected, but maybe my next set of cards is going to be the comic books. And maybe in his hand, he has some comic books. So he's going to challenge me for my comic books. To do so, he plays out a set of comic books. I can challenge back by playing out more.
I just play out a comic book.
Yeah, you play out a, I'm sorry, you play out a comic book. I could try to save them by playing out another set or another single myself.
Card, yes.
If I was able to, all of them would just get added to my comic books. Now he can't dig down. So if I had 3 or 4 things here, he can't dig down to the comic books. He can only try to take what's on the very top, as can anybody else at the table, for that matter. But if I can't save my comic books, if I have no way to combat him, then he takes all of my comic books and they get added to the top of his stack. I can try to take them back later, provided he doesn't bury them. Maybe he buries them with something better. I don't know. So, like, yeah, see, right now I don't even have a set. I have a model train for $5,000. Gold and silver are wild. So if you have gold or silver, you can combat with those. But if you lose, they're taking that as well. And that's a lot of money. It was pretty fun. We were laughing pretty hard at this one.
Yep.
Yeah. I feel like this was a good 20-minute game. It's not the type of game you take seriously because those cards are changing hands a lot.
For game days and everything, this easily goes into little side pockets of our, our backpack cooler.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a quick little filler game. It's a 15-minute game.
Yep.
I think is all it slates for. It says 20 to 40. I want to say at 4-player, it took us 20 minutes to play this easy. Plays up to 6. So anyway, cover your assets. Fun little hand management game. But yeah, very much enjoyed this one. Gonna stick around. All right. Oh, I thought for sure that was going off.
I made you a mixtape.
Okay. This was a recent Kickstarter that came in.
Yep.
Designed by a friend of ours, Mike DeLisio, and his partner,
Dan Hughes.
Dan Hughes, yes.
Designer of QuirkList.
QuirkList. They do sporadically board together, a podcast. We got to demo this before it went to Kickstarter.
Yeah, we got to demo that with Mike.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. So we had to back it. The way this plays. Oops. All right. Everybody starts off with their mixer. There we go. You have 3 cards that make up this, what is it called? It's not a mixer. It's the equalizer, balance. It's how you keep track of the balance on your tape, because your tape has to be balanced. The front and back sides need to be of equal length. This is an I Split You Choose pattern building set collection game. Right?
Sure. We'll go with that.
About explain it all? Covers everything? So at the start of each round, and everybody's playing simultaneously during this, so it actually goes very fast.
This is the equalizer.
It's the equalizer. That's what
I tried calling
is.
it the other night, and you guys said, no.
At the start of each turn, everybody's dealt 3 cards. Each card has a number of different pieces of information on it. There's that. I'm trying to give me the blue card. Here, have another red card. I want to show the differences. So there is the side of the tape it belongs on. The red is for side A, blue is for side B. But in addition to that, and I did like the way they did this graphically, all of the letters or all the information for the blue is over here on the left-hand side, or
For B.
For B. Oh my gosh, I need to just start over.
Hey, you also want to know something you probably never noticed?
What?
Red dot, blue dot.
I did not ever notice that. Smart. Anyway, all the information for side B is over on the far side of the card. All the information for side A is over on this side of the card. So when you're laying everything down on the side that it belongs on, everything's on one side, which makes it nice. It makes it easy to tell. Also on the card is the genre type, pop rock or pop, punk. What is it? That's more pop. There's hip hop and R&B and all sorts of stuff. Anyway, on your turn, you've got 3 cards. You are looking at these 3 cards and you are splitting them into 2 piles. And then you're going to pass them to your left. So maybe I'm going to do this. And there's a couple of different things I'm looking at. I'm looking at the side of the tape it is. I'm looking at how much time it takes. This is a 1. This is a 1. This is a 2. Because for every card I lay down on the whichever side it belongs on, I have to move my little cube up and down to basically keep track of how long my tapes are. At the end of the game, these are straight up points. Where no matter where that cube ends up, these are points. So you want to be as centered as possible. So you want to try and keep them balanced. But I'm also looking at the way the ribbon flows. At the end of the game, you get points based on how the ribbon is matching up. In this case, these 2 don't match up at all. No matter how I do it, they do not match. But maybe I had this tape, this is the last piece that was already there, and these 2 cards do match. Okay, so in that case, maybe I'll send these 2 over and I'll do this. This is my split. I pass it to the player on my left. I take the cards the player on my right gave me, and I try to figure out which ones I want. I keep whichever pile I want, and I give the rest back to the player who did the initial split. And I take back whichever card the other player doesn't want of the ones I had. And then I take whatever cards I have and I put them into my tape. For good or for bad, they've got to go into your tape. There are wild cards on here that have all sorts of ribbon on them.
That's what you gave me back, and that's what I took from you.
Brat. It lined up perfectly. Anyway, and this is what you want. Well, no, that's not legal. Nice try, buddy. Not legal, but that does. This is what you initially want. You see how these ribbons all nicely match up? You want it to do this because for every card that you have at the end of the game, and you play till the deck is gone, and it's a pretty good sized deck, but it actually goes pretty fast. Mm-hmm. For every card that both sides of the ribbon match up on, that's 3 points. If one side matches up, it's 1 point. And you're doing that for every single card in your tape. So you want a lot of cards, but you need them to match up to be worth the points. Once you've counted your ribbons, you've figured out where your equalizer is, you gather up all your cards, and now you start splitting them by genre type. And now it's a set collection. The more you have of any specific genre, the more points they're going to be worth. We've played this like 3 or 4 times already, and I very much enjoy it. We've had a great time with it. Matter of fact, we played this at a BGI night recently, and all of the songs are actual songs on here. Like let's see, in fact, the other bop. Everybody at the table started singing, and everybody around us was like, "What the heck are they playing?" It was great. We've had a good time with this one.
This is the Kickstarter exclusive.
Yeah, that's the Kickstarter. That it comes with a bunch of just blank tapes. Essentially, you can
one color, so you can make your own genre.
Yeah, that's true. Country, here we come. Matter of fact, they were coming up with all sorts of country and soundtracks and musicals, and we were coming up with all sorts of ideas. Anyway, that is I Made You a Mixtape. Fun little set collection game by Mike DeLisio and Dan Hughes, and we are definitely going to hold on to it. All right.
Great.
I made it all the way home that way.
Green team wins, but Greg's on the orange team.
Yes, Greg was on the orange team. What was the score on this? Like 30s? No.
I had 6 points.
You had 6. I don't think there's an actual score. Oh, no, everybody kept track up here. So I've got it written down. All right, so everybody has this token in front of them that shows orange team, green team. The goal is to be on the green team and stay there because you get more points this way. Everybody has a dry erase marker.
Orange team, you get no points.
Right. There are 3 different types of cards in this game. There are fill in the blanks, there are this or that, and there is the best of 3. At the start of the game, you take, I think it is 5 of each, shuffle them all up, and then one by one, you are revealing the cards. Everybody has their little scorecard, their sheet, and their dry erase marker. So everybody is looking at this at the same time. What flavor should green be? And it gives you a multiple choice, lime, apple, or watermelon. Everybody writes down their answer secretly, and then when everybody's done, everybody reveals what they wrote down. The majority wins. Doesn't matter, there is no right answer. There literally is no right answer. Majority wins. If out of 6 people, 3 people wrote lime, 1 wrote apple, and 2 wrote watermelon, then everybody who wrote lime is on the green team and scores a point. Everybody else is on the orange team and scores nothing.
0.
So you pull the next card, and the next card says this or that. Cups facing up or cups facing down. So again, everybody writes their answer. Majority wins. If 4 people said down, then down wins. Anybody who set up either stays on the orange team or flips to the orange team. Anybody who said down would flip to the green or stay on the green. If you're flipping to the green with this answer, then you get 1 point for that answer. If you were already on the green team and you're staying on the green team, which is the goal, then you get 2 points. First person to, I want to say it was 25 wins. No, it was once you go through the 15 questions, highest score wins. That's what it was. The other one is multiple choice, or not multiple choice, fill in the blank. Like this one is just blank door.
Back door.
Back door, front door.
Side door.
Right. So
Car
garage
door.
door, car door. Yeah, you can come up with any number of answers. Again, majority wins. This one's a little tougher because there's no multiple choice. You know what I mean?
And door.
Wrong kind of door, but okay. It was fun. I'm not typically into party games, but this one was a lot of fun. We played this at the retreat. We took it with us because we knew that'd probably be our best option to get that many players. So we got a chance to play it full 6-player. And it sparked a lot of debate on some stuff. Not even really debate, but more like, no, that's not the right answer. This should be the answer. I didn't even think of that answer. All sorts of neat stuff.
That's where I was.
You just think too far outside the box. The goal with this one is not to think outside the box.
I was coming up with the
have
very easy stuff. That's like, oh, this first thing pops in my head. That's got to be it. I mean,
well, like we had one.
that's
that
the
was
most
like,
common thing I would think of.
and nobody else thought of that.
No, or if there was only one other person.
Right. I think one of the ones we had, and it was kind of funny, it was donuts or bagels. And I don't like bagels. I just never have. They're too dense for me. I prefer a donut. But my thought was, no, everybody at work likes the bagels. Those disappear really fast. So I wrote down bagels thinking that would be the most common answer.
Everybody else said donuts.
I
got
was
that one
the only
right.
one who said bagels. Like, darn it. Oh, well. Anyway, green team wins. Fun party game. We might actually break this one out at the 24. We haven't decided yet, but this one may make the list for the 24, especially late at night. So we'll see. But yeah, fun party game. Gonna stick around?
It could be the last game.
It could be. Oh, that's a good idea.
Next we have Maple Valley. This was your savior after a hard game of Star Trek Ascendancy.
We told you about that last episode. Okay. This one was really interesting.
It is so light.
It is. It is a very, very light game. It's by Kids Table Board Games.
Yes.
It is the same world as Creature Comforts, but I don't think it was as long
it's not as intense as Creature Comfort.
No, I don't. And it's geared toward kids, but it was still a lot of fun. All right, so dig all my bins out here just to get down to the board. I know I drive you crazy with it. You can see I care, right? All right, so here is your board. Nice, simple, just a little countryside. Up at the top are the rounds. So there's 5 rounds in the entire game. And essentially you are moving from location to location to do various things. Each location lets you either gather resources or to get new cards or to get new map tokens, etc. Or patches, yep, all sorts of stuff. There are some cards laid out here and here that let you do some trading, and those change out every game. So those are always going to be just a little bit different. But ultimately you are moving around trying to get the resources you need in order to pick up certain cards. Everybody starts with their main card and some basic resources. And these cards give you travel ability along different paths. The board was filled with a number of different travel pathways, basically. Water, hiking, and I don't remember what that mountain. Water, mountain, and water, mountainous, and forest.
Yes.
So you start off with your one main character that can move on any one of the 3.
Water, rock, forest.
Water, rock, and forest. Okay. As the game progresses, you are picking up, hopefully, you are picking up more cards that will give you, again, more different pathways to travel. Oh, I'm pointing to the wrong corner. More different pathways to travel on. This one gives you forest pathways.
They're friends.
They're friends. I'm sorry, you're picking up more friends. The friends also have special abilities on the bottom of them. Like this one says, if you forage, you also gain an acorn. Foraging is simply picking up resources somewhere. So if you forage, you get to pick up an extra acorn if you use this guy on that turn. In order to purchase him, you have to spend what's down here in the corner, these resources, and it's worth 3 points at the end of the game.
Those are curiosity markers, by the way.
These guys?
Those are curiosities, yes.
All of them give you some special power or some special ability. If you do something, you get something else in return, and all of them have different resources or curiosities that you purchase them with.
Yes.
And then they go into your deck, and you can use them at any point. There are also patches that you can pick up in one of the spots in the middle of the board, and these, you can only have, I think, 3 of these the whole game. Maybe 4. I think it's 3. These give you an ongoing ability. Like this river rafting says, any number of times you can spend 1 or 2 resources to travel on a water trail. So you can spend specific resources in order to travel on water, even if your friend card doesn't allow you to travel on water. So all different types of ongoing abilities throughout the game.
4 patches, by the way.
It is 4. Okay. All right. And then there are item cards that you are picking up, and these are kind of a set collection almost. You're picking these up again for the items listed up here, but they're giving you 1 victory points at the end of the game, but they also give you more victory points if you have another item. And they kind of work in almost a set collection type of thing. So +2 if you also have the fiddle, and then the fiddle says +2 if you also have something else, and then that card will say +2 if you also have the tambourine. So you can kind of make a 3-piece set out of it. The fiddle says the jug. Okay. Oh, and there's the jug right there, which again, more points if you have the tambourine. So you're trying to collect these, and you got all of mine that night. You kept taking the ones I wanted.
Yep.
I thought it was a cute game.
Yes,
I thought it was very light. It was a nice way to end the night, especially after the trouble we had with the Borg during Star Trek Ascendancy. But it was cute. I don't know if it'll stick around for a long time just because it is so light. But at the same time, I feel like this is one we could pull out with like Journey's little sister. Things like that. She would easily figure this out. Anyway, that is Creature Comforts, Maple Valley. And it's going to stick around. It was cute. I liked it.
Next we have Qwirkle Flex. Flex.
We have always been very big proponents of Qwirkle. We discovered that one, gosh, well over a decade ago. About a decade ago. I don't know. Anyway, when we were still working with the choir department on a regular basis, our very first...
It was right after our first...
Right after our first one, yeah.
One that the designer sent it to us.
Yes.
Because we didn't have it in our
collection, yeah. This one actually came with... Holders, which I was very happy about. All right, so this one comes with a number of different types of tiles. You still have all of the normal tiles, the black tiles with the different colors on it. You also have white tiles with the colors on it. And more interestingly, you have split tiles with the colors on it. So the way this works, the Qwirkle game itself is played identical. You can still, and again, if you've never played Qwirkle, let me backtrack to that first. You are trying to make sets of 6. Sets of all one color, 6 different patterns, or sets of all one pattern, 6 different colors. You can't duplicate a pattern / color in the same row. So I can't have 2 red squares in the same row. That's not legal. But I can have a red square and a blue square and a purple square and a green square
and a
yellow and an orange. In the original game, all of the backs were black. The backs meant nothing. The pattern, the color around the pattern. In this one, now they do. In the terms of how you're laying out your tiles, it does not mean anything. But how you score on the diagonal now comes into play. And they are bonus points. So, and I've got a lot of pictures we took of the game we played a couple days ago. But in this case, oh look, there's 3 right there that go together.
Yep.
Actually, there's 4 that go together. Let's do this. Let's do it this way. So, oh look, and there's a purple.
That's not one.
That's not a square. That's a diamond. That's a diamond. So in this case, this would mean nothing. This is just 5 points. I'm just missing the blue. However, on my the next player could do this and lay off of this red diamond with the red clover. And they score 2 points for that. But they also score 2 points because, if you can see this, diagonally the backs are matching. It's not a necessity to line those up. It's just extra bonus points. That's basically the whole thing. That's the only way it changes, but man, does it turn it on its head. It literally gives you a whole new dimension to have to look at when you're laying stuff down. Because if you just flip stuff around, now you're scoring extra points. It didn't work real well for me, though. I did not score well. Well, I mean, I did. I caught up with you at one point. I was 30 points behind, and I caught up, and then I was 30 points again behind. But I enjoyed it. Now, mind you, I enjoy regular Qwirkle anyway.
Yes.
but this definitely gave it just a little bit more thinkiness.
Yeah.
So, super great game. We've always really enjoyed this one. That is Qwirkle Flex by Susan McKinley Ross and Reiner Knizia. It's going to stick around. All right.
Next,
now we're getting to thinkier games.
we have old time here now.
Yes.
Rum Pirates
By Stefan Feld.
by Stefan Feld. And this is, I want to say it was his first one. Anyway, it's one of his first.
Okay.
This has been redone as Nassau.
Okay. We got this at Gen Con.
Yep.
I really wasn't expecting much because of its age. I think this came out in 2006, I want to say. 2005, 2006, yeah.
It has a really cool
It
insert.
does have a really nice insert, and
For
the
that,
insert
as
works
old as it
really
is.
well. Yeah. Each player has a stack of guys. There's 15 in there. You start the game with 10. Throughout the game, you can possibly gain 5 more.
Designers need to take note. This is from 2006, and look, it has a lid on it.
I know, isn't that fantastic?
Before game trades was a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, nice. Okay, so the way this plays, you have 9 modular boards, and you are just placing them out randomly. There is a suggested setup in the book for your first play, but it changes.
Changes the board every time.
Yes. Let me grab the captain.
What was his name? His name is the Red Corsair.
Okay, he's the captain. Anyway, so everybody has their 10 little pirates. There is a die in the game. It is only used for basically roll-offs at the taverns and for the treasures and for
your sleeping quarters.
Yeah, sleeping quarters. Okay, so the basic way this plays, at the start of every round, everybody has their full 10, possibly more if they've gotten more. You play 5 rounds, I believe it was. The way these boards are built, they are made up of intersections with a number of sidewalk pieces in between the different intersections. Each intersection gives you a different bonus. So you are laying down, you're basically following the captain around the city. So you can decide where the captain's going by placing your guys out in front of him and then moving the captain to wherever he's going and then picking up whatever the reward is on that spot. Whether it be barrels that allow you to, barrels of rum, which allow you to re-roll your dice later if you want to. There are coins on here. There are extra guys on here, extra crewmen. Yep, there's an extra crewman right there. There are different pubs that you can go into. Anytime you go into a pub, though, and there are some tiles laying out here, there are 3 different color pubs, and if there are any of that color, then you can invite everybody else to go with you. They have to pay you a coin if they're going to, but then now they can roll off to see if anybody can take some of the treasure that was found in the pub. There are treasure chests. However, the treasure chests are booby trapped, for lack of a better term.
One you get.
One you get.
That's
You get the actual chest.
And then you have one that has a scorpion in it.
Yes. And the scorpion chest is not worth any points, but it is a -2 if you end up with it. So, and that one's kind of interesting because each of the scorpion chests, yeah, that's one of the spots for the dice. Each of the scorpion chests have a threshold number. And one by one, starting with the player who found the chest in the first place, they roll off. So you might roll a 5, and then you pass the die, and the next person rolls a 2. Well, now you're at 7. And the next person rolls a 3. Well, now you're at 10. And the next person rolls a 1. Oh, you're at 11. Well, the next player knows he's getting that scorpion because you can't roll lower than a 1. The first person to make the threshold go over 12 gets the scorpion. And -2 at the end of the game. I think I had 3 of them at the end of the last game. No, you had 1. You did have 1. I stuck you with one of them.
I did have one.
So you use up your guys in this way, and some of these sidewalks have only 1 spot, some have 2, some have as many as 4. You can kind of go off on a dark alley off the opposite side of the board and come in anywhere around the board and back to another intersection. So that's kind of nice. It allows you to literally hop to a different section of the board and literally move the captain someplace else
Yeah,
on
you're
the
supposed
board.
to move the captain first, then
Right,
fill
and
in
then
behind
fill
him.
in. At the end of the round, you're going to find yourself with a number of guys left. You move those guys up to, oh, there he is down there, up to, or back to the ship, I should say, and you put him out. You put your guys out here on next to the mast on the ship. How many ever guys you end up your day with when you decide you're done? Because at the bottom, depending on the number of players, there are sleeping quarters out here that are worth points. And during a roll-off, whoever ends up sticking around the longest gets the best sleeping quarters and thus more points. And this is just literally a roll-off. If you sent 3 guys up and all of your opponents only sent 2, one of yours is automatically going into the next round. And then the next group rolls off. Whoever rolls the highest wins. Essentially, you roll one at a time and you have to beat the person before you. It comes down to whoever rolls the highest wins. And then you just keep doing that until there are only enough soldiers left to take the beds that are out.
Everybody else sleeps on the deck.
Right. And then you gather all your stuff up and you start the next round and do it all over again. It was fun.
Yes, I liked this one.
Yeah, we really enjoyed it.
I'm not really big into the city collection from Queen Games, from
Right.
all the remade ones. I wouldn't mind seeing how Nassau plays.
Yes.
But
To
I
see
do
what
like
the
this one.
difference is.
Yeah, I do like this one though.
Yeah. This one we really enjoyed this. I was pleasantly surprised. But yeah, I thought, considering the age of it, I thought the insert was actually really good.
Yeah.
It held everything nicely. All right. That is Rum Pirates, an early game by Stefan Feld. Good. And it's going to stick around. But yeah, like I said, I'd be curious to see how the theme of Nassau changes it, what it changes. So, okay.
Next we have Navoria, Explorers of Navoria.
Explorers of Navoria,
And its
yes.
expansion is in the box.
Yes. And this is one, the expansion is so easy, I don't see any reason not to play it with it.
We've played base game, we've played it with the expansion, and I've actually played it solo now.
You did.
So.
You did. All right. Everybody has their color. I got to get all the way down here to the board. We even went out and bought the upgraded resources for it.
Well, because the expansion didn't have the upgraded resources, so we had to get the upgraded resources on everything else
That
first.
totally makes sense, right? Now I want to play again. All right.
It's a very colorful board.
Yes, it's actually a very colorful game, period. It was a very pleasant, pretty game. All right, so how this plays. Here is your board. And if I can do it without ripping the board. There's your board. So the idea with this one, you've got a number of tokens that are thrown into a bag. So at the start of your turn, you have 2 options. You could draw two tokens out of the bag and place them over here where the cards are. Now you're placing them on top of the stack of cards. There's a deck of cards in each of these spots, and the expansion actually adds a 6th deck. And there are 3 cards that are out to the side. You are choosing one of these 2 options, placing it here, and choosing one of the cards that are sitting out here next to the board.
Yep.
Whichever one you don't choose
put it in the
goes
city.
here to the middle of the island, to the middle of the city. These will come into play later. Well, potentially in the next turn. The next player has 2 choices now. They can either pull 2 new tiles out of the bag and make the same choices, or they can pick something up from out of the middle of the island and use it instead. So this is a known quantity. They know what's there. Maybe the color they wanted is there. Or like I said, if nothing there they want, they can pull from the bag and make choices themselves. So you're doing this until everybody's had a certain number of turns. And I don't remember what the turn count is.
3.
Oh, until the bag's empty. Is it no? Yeah, I think it's until the... No,
There's only
that's
3
not true.
cards.
Yeah, you're right. It is 3 cards. You do this until everybody's picked up 3 cards from that round. So once everybody's done that, now you're going into phase 2. Now, I'm going to come back to the cards though, but now you're going into phase 2 and you are taking all of the different items that were put on these decks right here, all of these different tokens. you're taking one token and putting it on one of the matching colors out here on the island itself. So, and then taking whatever bonus is next to it. So maybe I want this blue one because that's 6 victory points just right off the bat, or 4 or 2, depending on how many blues there are and which one I ended up with. There are ways to get various resources. There are ways to get new cards. Or no, this is movement.
Yeah.
There are 3 tracks on the board where you are trying to move down the track to get more points. Each player also has a board that
Can we put this down
yes,
now?
we can put that down now. Each player also has a board that they are keeping track of stuff here. These are where your trading posts are sitting until you get them out onto the tracks. You're also gathering various resources throughout the game. You're gathering, your apples and your gems and your swords, and you're putting them out here, and it's various set collecting types of items. When you trade them in, you get to activate whatever spots are empty down here. So again, more points. The trick with these, though, is that when you gather them, you can't put them all in one spot because that would be too easy. You have to rotate them around. You have to spread them out. You can choose, if you get 2 swords and an apple, great, you can choose where they go. They just can't all go in the same spot. The cards themselves give you various abilities. They give you the ability to walk. They give you the ability to put down trading posts.
Scoring, in and around scoring.
And round scoring,
scoring.
yep. They give you resources, all sorts of different things, and each color is slightly different and gears toward a different thing. So I really liked that. I thoroughly enjoyed our plays of this.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to playing at a higher player count.
Solo was pretty cool.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, because, well, I've only played the one.
Right.
And I don't know if I should talk about it or not, though, because it could be... Well, no, not really. It's going to be however you end up playing it, though, because the first one, you had to get all of your hikers to the 3rd level. It was like 120 points or 140 points or something like that.
Okay.
I got all my hikers where I needed to be, but I only got like 90 points, so I lost.
So you were halfway there, you just didn't have the points.
Yeah, so you got to keep an eye on getting your hikers down the road and getting as many points as you can throughout the entire game, though. But it's interesting. I'll probably play more of it on your next ladies' night.
Yeah, yeah, this is a good ladies' night option for you, because especially when I'm hosting.
I'll just learn it, and you just put all that in the lid.
I sure did. Oops. Anyway, I'll have to repack that later because it's definitely got some box left on it right now. That's all right. Anyway, Explorers of Navoria, we thoroughly enjoyed our plays of this, and I'm looking forward to exploring this one some more.
Yep.
See what I did there? Anyway.
Next, we have another big crunchy one. Carnegie. This, I played this solo as well. Just to learn the game.
Right.
And I learned that Carnegie cheats. He totally annihilated me.
And I'm not even sure I would. Yeah. So this one has a lot going on in it. Oh my gosh, I don't even.
I taught myself the solo version of it because it does play a little different.
Okay.
Not by much, but it does play a little bit different
Right.
with more than one player.
So this is the board, and I think we took some pictures of this.
Yeah, I think so.
So there's your board. This one plays in 20 rounds. Every player gets 20 turns because there's always the person whose turn it is picks the action.
Yep.
You've got a couple of different options on your actions. There are these tiles that lay out here. So this is basically the general action you're doing, the type of department you're going to activate on your board. And then next to them are all these different tiles. And these randomize, they're front to back. There's 8 of them. You only use 4 per game. But this tells you the action you're doing and the region that scores. Everybody has their player boards, which are these. And you start out the game with 5 departments and your lobby. And in each board, and I did really like this, each board has these 4 inset pieces in here. These are your developments, or your housing, or not housing, but I think they're called developments.
They were called projects.
Projects, thank you. Some of these projects have various circles on them, and as you pull these out, it costs money to pull them out, but you can pull them out, and that allows you to put some of your discs on here, which gives you more options in terms of building.
Well, it's not really money, it's this section here.
Oh, that's true. It's this
Movement
section here.
points or
It's
whatever they
movement
were called.
points. You're very right. I forgot about that. So each of your base departments do something different. Your HR area will let you move your people around from
To the
department
different
to department.
departments. That's
This one
management.
will let you move these or move some of the tracks here. Yep, these here will let you build developments.
Management. Yep.
Yeah. I'm sorry. These let you build offices in your building. These let you get offices in your.
That's that
office
one.
building.
That builds the new departments. This allows you to go out to do missions.
Yes.
To allow you, when that area scores, you'll have somebody there to score.
Yes.
And you can also get cubes.
And cubes are
well.
important. You
Cubes
need
are
those for
very
building.
well.
And then this one here lets you actually start building in the cities.
In the cities, yeah.
So when you're doing that, you're taking discs off of here, project discs off of here, and you are building them out here in the various cities based on the icons on your player board. Depends on where you can put them. You can build off of any city you've already built in, and you automatically start in one of either the major or minor cities, originating where you started, and then building yourself up. The goal, and you get more points if you do so, is to get to all 4 major cities and get those 4 cities connected, however you can do it. We both got 3 of them connected.
Yes.
Meanwhile, each of the regions have this track on it where you can track your automotive progress, your movement progress, whether it's stagecoach, or no, it was horse and wagon to stagecoach to train to locomotive. And you're trying to get up these tracks as far as you can, because again, that's more points at the end of the
And
game.
that's what scores when
Yes.
the area scores.
When you send people out on to go missions, you're putting them into the various regions, and this is what scores when those areas score
Off of these tracks.
on here. Yeah, when you're doing these actions. So there's a lot going on here. You want to get more departments into your buildings. You need to get projects out. You need to get missions done so that you can score, because without the missions, you can't score.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you're also trying to get your people back, because you've got people all over the board. But if you don't have people in the office to work, you're not getting much done. There was a lot going on in this.
Yeah, and each region only scores up to
A few times.
4
yeah.
times
Yeah.
at the most, and
Yeah.
that's sometimes it may only score once, just because these are randomly placed out, so it could be one. Like the South may only have one,
Right.
and it may have been the first one, so it's not worth putting missions in the South.
Right. Yeah, at that point, you don't even bother, because, yeah, you're not going to score on them anyway. You've basically just lost your person for the rest of the game. I feel like this one's going to require a lot more exploration.
Yes.
Because, like I said, there's a lot going on here. And I feel like we did well, but now obviously you did not do well up against Carnegie by yourself, but
No, because at the top of the board there are donation areas where and it's your in-game
Oh, yeah, I
scoring.
forgot about
and
that.
It's the
Yeah, I
in-game
didn't do
scoring
well
of
there.
the game. And in a solo play, Carnegie, during the game, it would tell you Carnegie's going to do a donation, and it tells you where to put the donation at. And then at the end of the game, Carnegie will score those donations on what you have done. Because Carnegie doesn't do anything else on the board except for take up spots in cities
that doesn't seem
and the
fair.
donations.
Okay. I feel like we have a lot more to explore on this one. This one's going to take a little while. But yeah, I liked it. I did like it. A lot going on. But yeah, that is Carnegie and definitely sticking around. But yeah, this was another one of the retreat pickups.
Yeah, that was my first retreat pickup.
Yeah. All right.
Next we have Lightning Train. This was a Gen Con Dash for the Door pickup.
I was going to say, this is the one day you and Justin dashed for the door.
We left you sitting on a bench off to the side.
I wasn't dashing.
And me and Justin just kind of worked our way through the crowd to where we got really close to the front.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was sitting there, and at one point, right before the door opened, somebody asked me if I needed help up. I'm like, nope, I'm sitting right here till the hallway clears. Y'all go have fun.
Anyway,
we have played this I have played this a couple of times anyway, because I got to play this at Gen Con. Or not Gen Con, I'm sorry. I got to play this at the retreat.
You played this at the retreat because there was 3 other players that had not played it and wanted to play it.
Correct.
So I gave up my seat for you two.
Yes.
So they could all play it.
This is double-sided, and I think that's based on player count.
Yes, it is.
I'm not going to open this entire board because it is very large and I don't want to accidentally rip it. But this is the basis of the board. Down here along the bottom, you can kind of see that a little bit right there. There is a track that has tiles on it that you can purchase throughout the game. Every player has their board, their factory board with all of their tokens. There are route tokens, there are train tokens, there are money tokens, there's all sorts of stuff here. This is essentially a bag builder. You are building your bag full of tokens that you can then use to build out your trains. So everybody has their factory board, and there's 2 other pieces that sit down here on the bottom that you can upgrade to give you more benefits throughout the game. But this is the crust of it. On your turn, you are drawing enough tiles that go here out of the bag. Some of the tiles have little plus signs, like here's one that the locomotive that has a little plus sign on it. If you draw something that has a plus sign, it can go over here. Otherwise, it has to go here. So at the very minimum, you're getting 5 tiles per turn. At most, you're getting 7, and then if you upgrade the piece down here, you can get a few more.
Board up so you can
There
have
you
something
go.
to
There you go.
look
All right,
at.
so on your turn, you are using your tiles, and the tiles come in a number of different things. There are tokens that just give you money. Simple as that. There are tokens that, let's see, that's just a money token. There are
Contracts.
contracts. Thank you. Contract tokens. And of course, the areas that these correspond to are on the part you can't see of the board, but that's okay. There are contract tokens for every region on the board. So if I had, here, just open it up this way. There you go, because there's the Northeast. So this particular one covers the Northeast and the South. Well, here's the Northeast, and the South is down there, obviously.
Down south.
Down south. So if I had this tile, then I could build something, whether it be a train station or whether it be a train route. I could build in the Northeast or in the South, but those are the only 2 places I can build. There are tokens in here also for, that's the A, which is this area here, this red area here.
Appalachian.
And thank you, Appalachia. And also the South. And then there's another one that covers the Northeast and Appalachia. Those are your starting tiles. Throughout the game, you are buying more that cover every other region on the map, the Northwest, the Northeast. Also, you have your train tiles, and these are what you're building your stuff out of, your tracks out of. So if I pull out a few train tiles here, and I have the Northwest or Northeast token, then I could build here or wherever I can actually fit if I have enough trains to do so. If I don't, I have the ability to store 1 token. I have the ability to store one of my train tokens. I can just put it here and save it. I could also, if I don't have the contract for the area I need, I can build, where is it? I can secure contracts. I can use 2 train tokens down here to secure a contract. And that would be ready whenever I need it. I've got them there. You have to use your tokens or discard them. You can't just save them right here. They have to go elsewhere on your board or out here or go to your discard pile. And then once your bag is empty, you take all of your discard pile, you throw it back in your bag, and you start the next round. There are ways to go through tunnels, and if you don't have an icon on one of your trains that gives you explosives, then you can save up for explosives. And you put a couple train tokens down here to save up for that explosive section. There are ways to build stations. And stations are anywhere from 1 to 3 points. There are stations that only take 1 train to do so. There are stations that take 2, and there are stations that take 3. Each of those stations have delivery icons on them. You are wanting to pick up, the main goal here is to connect all of these little areas here, these little circles that you see on the board. Those are production points that are producing certain goods, and the train stations around them are what want the goods. So the idea is to connect your train station, however you can, with a good that it's able to take, that it wants. And then when you can do that, you can make a delivery. When you have the right icons on your board, you can make a delivery, and then everybody whose train you've used, whose train route you've used, gets points for doing so.
So, but when you're building the trains, if you don't already have a station out, because you can build off your station.
You can build off your station.
Or you have to build off the areas that have the sunlight on it. And
Well,
then
you have to build
that direction.
Yes, or build off of an existing
Station.
track.
Yeah.
So like if I had track going all the way through here, but I didn't have this station, I could keep going because my track is leading up to that station.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant. You had to start out here or off of one of your stations you had
yeah.
built.
Yeah, so it's enjoyable. It takes a minute to play. There's a lot of thinking involved in what you can do because you've got to work off these contracts. Eventually, you end up with just a bag full of trains, so you've got to get them out because otherwise they're just clogging up your bag, which is weird to say, but they clog up your bag. You use the money icons in order to buy these extra tiles, which all come out of the bag. There's only 6 out at a time. So you're looking at these, and some of them are just straight up points. Every time you pull this out of the bag, it's a victory point. Some of these give you lightning trains. Every time you get the lightning train symbol, you get to add a train from your bin to your bag. And that's one of the ways you're picking up trains, is by the lightning train symbols.
Yeah, because you don't start with a lot of them.
You don't. You only start with like 2 or 3. You don't start with very many. But you do start with the ability to pick up those lightning trains. But like I said, I've gotten to play this twice now. Thoroughly enjoyed both plays of it. Oop, I forgot to put the green bag back. We need to pull this out again and play it. I would like to, again, it's another one I want to explore some more. It's an enjoyable game. It feels like Ticket to Ride a little bit, but there's just a lot more going on.
Everybody keeps saying Ticket to Ride.
Well, because Ticket to Ride is
because you're building your route.
Yes, you're
That's
building
about
the
the only Ticket to Ride part in the entire thing.
That is where it feels like Ticket to Ride, because you are building your routes. You don't really get blocked on this one.
It's more like Ticket to Ride Europe, because you can build stations, and in Europe you can build the stations.
Yes, and you can use other people's routes. You're just giving them points if you do. The neat thing is the game, and the game ends, I should say, the game ends after 12 rounds or when the Transcontinental Railroad has been connected.
Yeah.
And then depending on the number of players, a couple other cities to boot.
Yes.
Like we had to connect Houston
and Seattle.
Yeah, also. Which we had Seattle done. I think
you had
we were
Houston, you just did
No, we
not,
needed Seattle. I was one train away from getting Seattle built. I couldn't build it though because I wasn't over there. And the person who was like, it's not advantageous for me to do this, so I'm not going to.
Yep.
So it's more advantageous to them to just play out the rest of the 12 rounds. So that's what happened. Anyway, Lightning Train, really neat train building game. I liked it. I do like it very much. Yeah. Very thinky. I like it. Gonna stick around. All right.
And last but not least, picked this up on the way home from the retreat.
We did. It's another one wrapped in a brown paper bag that just said Deluxe Edition.
All 3 versions of Endeavor.
We do.
We've now played all 3 versions of Endeavor.
We have. Okay, so this is a modular board. Everybody has their player board. this tracks, if you're familiar with Age of Sail, this is very, very similar. You are keeping track of various pieces here, various production pieces throughout the game. You're getting these icons on cards that you're picking up. You're getting them off of tiles you're laying down, all sorts of stuff. So the board builds out, and there are, I want to say, 10 scenarios in the box. I imagine you could play without goals and just simply play if you want to, but the scenarios actually give you 3 goals toward end game scoring.
Yeah.
So you kind of want that just for the end game scoring.
And half the time I forget about them.
Yeah.
So
You need to play one with
I'm just playing the game, and like I said, the 2 times we played it, I've completely forgot about the goals until like 2/3 of the way through the game, and by then it's like, well, I'm not going to be able to get them. So
the way this runs, you set up the board based on whatever scenario you're doing. There are 5 different zones, all marked with the gears on the back. You set up the board based on what the scenario states, and then set up your 5 piles nearby. Because one of the actions that you can do is to explore. And when you explore, you can, it's not exploring, it's sonar. It's the sonar action.
The sonar action.
When you do the sonar action, then you pick 2 tiles based on, for instance, like this one right here tells me that I can, if I place my disc here, I can look at any tile sections 1 through 3, depths 1 through 3. I get to look at 2 of them, choose which one I want, put the other at the bottom of its respective pile. This down here states I can look at any tile 3 or better. So 3, 4, or 5. Again, you get to look at 2, choose the one you want, put the other back to it, the bottom of its respective pile. When you place a tile using the sonar action, the person who places the tile is getting this benefit up here. This is 90% of the time, or most of the time, going to be allowing you to move up on these tracks. And as you're moving around, the player who lands on the tile gets the benefit here. Am I pointing to the right place? I am. How about that? In this case, a new disc. Discs are important because those are your actions. This one would give you a new research, piece of research. And research is important because it lets you do conservation projects. It also lets you do a few other things. That's one of the actions you can do. You can also do movement. Movement is to literally just move from one tile to the other. You can dive. Dive, there are a number, I'm not going to find them on the deep ones. Nope, not there either.
There's your dive.
There we go. Okay. So the dive action, there are some tiles on them that give you research icons or one other thing most of the time. Some of them just give you a lot of research. But whenever you do the sonar action and you pick one of these tiles out, if there is this option here, this dive option, and it'll tell you right up here in the corner, then you pull some of these tiles, they're all random on the side of the board, and you stack them up here. When you do the dive action from this tile, you can take the top tile, the top token, and then you can decide, there is a spot on your player board to hold it if you don't want to spend it right away, but you can only ever hold one. Otherwise, you have to spend them. I'm sorry, I thought, didn't know what you were
trying to point
at.
it.
I didn't know what you were doing. I realized it after the fact.
The little circle that I could not get my finger to.
Anyway, so that's the dive action. There is the conservation action. And the conservation action allows you to, this is a 3, so that goes there.
Conserve action.
Conserve action, sorry. There are these little turtle icons on several of the tiles. That allows you to put one of your tokens there. And by doing so, you get whatever's in the circle. This action also, if you match up, if you have tokens on both sides of the little lines, then you also get a bonus. Unlike...
And you got to pay research.
You got to pay research to do so, yes. This is where those research icons come in. But unlike Endeavor, where if 2 different people were on opposite sides of that connection line,
you would not get
you wouldn't get it. In this one, you do, because you're working together to save the ocean. Thematically, it makes total sense. You both get the benefit of that connection line, which I liked. And then last but not least, you had the journal action. Action shows up on a number of tiles like this, a little sheet of paper. And if you do that action, then there were 4 cards out.
The top.
Yep, there are 4 cards out, journal cards, that give you various benefits if you pick them up. Again, they cost research. Some of them even gave benefits to every other player. They would let you upgrade your workers. At the start of every round, you start the game by choosing a worker. This is how the rounds are timed out.
Yes.
Because by the end of the game, you have 7 workers. You have the worker you start with, and then you pick up 6 more throughout the game. And these workers are what is giving you your actions. They're giving you your movement action, your dive action, your sonar action, your journal action, or your conservation action. And in order to take the action, you have to put 1 disc here on whichever worker you're activating. Some actions don't require a disc on the board. The dive does not require a disc on the board. The movement does not require a disc on the board. Everything else, you had to put a disc on the board too. So every action ultimately would cost you 2 discs.
Yeah.
Discs were hard to come by at the start of the game. By the end of the game, I always had plenty.
Yeah.
Start of the game, it was a little tough
Well,
sometimes.
yeah, especially if you could not get the higher people either.
Yes. So, and this is where your tracks came in. So the way the tracks work, much like Endeavor, Base Endeavor or Endeavor Age of Sail, the more you moved your track up, the more it benefited you. This top track was
That's the people. Your
that's how.
explorers.
Yes, that is how
That is your reputation track.
Yes, that's your reputation track. It allowed you to pick up better workers, better explorers.
Yes.
This one here allowed you to grab more discs at the start of every round. Specialist, thank you. This one here allowed you to get more discs at the start of every round. You would just literally take them out of your bin and put them down here.
And that's the inspiration track.
Okay. This one here allowed you to recall discs off of your workers so that they could work again. If a worker, one of your specialists, already had a disc on it and you weren't able to clear it, you can't use it next round. You can only use the ones that are free to be used. This will allow you to pull discs off of your workers.
Yeah, and you'll always have a worker out there that
always, because the most you can do is 5.
Yeah, the most you can get off is 5.
And you start with 1. By the end of the game, you have 7. And then this last one is your sub-movement. And this is where we played wrong.
Track.
Ingenuity.
Oh, the other one was coordination track.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is that makes sense. So this one allows you to move further and deeper. This is what allows you to dive deeper into the ocean, to dive deeper onto the tiles and get down to the deeper tiles, but it also allows you to move further along the various tiles. So all 4 tracks are very important, and you got to balance what you, it was a deep balance.
And then you had this.
Yes. Each scenario came with your impact track, and there were icons in each scenario on a lot of the cards. The little star here. And when you did so, you would pick something coming off of the front or off of somebody else. Like this one here, everybody had to start in one of these 4 spaces. Well, no, let me rephrase that. You have the option of starting in one of these 4 spaces. The first person to lay here had to, in one of these 4 spaces on the edge. The next person could build off of that person or start someplace else if they chose to. So every turn you had to either place off the start, if there was still one available, or build off of somebody else. And each of these gave you either points or resources, some both. So these were very important. I really enjoyed this. I thoroughly enjoyed this game.
Yes.
I like Endeavor Age of Sail, but I feel like they literally threw the kitchen sink in.
Yes, pretty much, because
they made it so complex.
That added so many different modules you can add, and
which
things you could take certain rules out of the game, or add them back in, or
it almost made it too complicated.
Yeah, there was way too much.
I don't know what's going to happen with Endeavor. If I had the choice between the 2, I'm going to pull this one out because it's just so much easier to get to the table. It's so much easier to understand.
Yes.
Because again, the other one added so many different modules.
The second one, which I can never remember.
Age of Sail.
Age of Sails.
Yeah.
It had a lot in the base game.
Yeah.
And then they came out with an expansion that added like 4 or 5
Yeah.
more modules, and it's like, holy crud, you forget about them
Yeah,
too.
you do.
There's so much that you can do. I mean, it's fun. It just makes it even meatier.
I feel like we're going to have to
But
play
it's
them
hard.
back to back a couple times and decide if the other one's worth keeping. So I don't know. That one may end up leaving. We'll have to wait and see. But regardless, that's not the one we're talking about today. We have Endeavor Deep Sea, and that is it for this episode. It's obviously going to stick around. I want to explore it some more. Yeah, that's it for this episode. We got one more backup episode coming. Hopefully in a week
then it's
or so.
off for 2 years of the T's.
Oh, it will not be. There's less T's than there were S's.
Oh, I thought you said there was more T's.
No, we have 153 T's. It'll take us about 6 months.
That's a lot of T's.
We had 180 S's. So there's less S's. Or I mean, there's more S's than there were T's. Anyway.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the next one.